Samuel was a young man with big dreams. 5 years after graduating with a degree in religious studies, he was still jobless. His mother had stopped asking when he'd get serious. His friends had stopped inviting him out. And every morning, the mirror reminded him that the only thing growing in his life was his beard.
On a hot Monday morning, determined to change his fortune, Samuel put on his late father's oversized black jacket. The sleeves were so long they covered half his hands. His white shirt had survived one too many laundry battles, and the collar refused to stay flat.
He straightened himself and walked the streets of Lagos looking for a job. After hours passed with no success, he walked into a church. He feared another rejection, but his spirit was hopeful.
Inside the church, the elderly pastor looked up from his Bible as Samuel approached. "Good morning, sir," Samuel said, bowing slightly. "Good morning, young man. How can I help you?" Samuel clutched his brown envelope tightly. "Pastor, I'm looking for any role in the church. Assistant pastor, usher, cleaner, even pew polisher if you have."
The old man smiled. "My son, in this house of the Lord, people work for free." Samuel blinked. "Free? As in 0 naira?" The pastor nodded. "The Lord will reward his workers in heaven." Samuel forced his smile, but his stomach growled loudly, reminding him that heaven was very far away. He thanked the pastor and stepped outside, dejected.
Big moves, big hits.
He stood at the roadside, wondering if life had forgotten him. His certificates were still in his brown envelope, now damp with sweat. Then fate intervened. A shiny red Toyota stopped right in front of him. The door opened, and a young lady stepped out in a hurry. She looked at him with relief.
"Are you the lawyer?" she asked. Samuel blinked. "Lawyer?" The lady, Sandra, didn't wait for his answer. She clutched a file and began explaining rapidly. "I was told to meet a lawyer here this morning. It's about my father's land. His business partner, Chief Lucas, is trying to steal it. Please, you're the one, right?" Samuel's lips parted. He could tell the truth. End the confusion now.
But then, Sandra opened her purse, pulled out a bundle of cash and said, 300,000 naira if you can help me. Samuel's heart skipped. 300 what? That was more money than he had seen in years. Before his conscience could protest, his mouth spoke first. "Yes, I'll handle it." Sandra sighed with relief and handed him an upfront payment of 100,000 naira, the balance after we win.
Samuel nearly shouted, "Hallelujah!" He shook her hand like a seasoned professional and said in his deepest voice, "You will get your father's land back." As Sandra drove off, Samuel's belly made another loud protest. He didn't waste time. He rushed into the nearest restaurant and ordered jollof rice, fried plantain, and 2 bottles of Coke. For the first time in 3 days, he ate like royalty.
Big moves, big hits.
That night, in his small one-room apartment, Samuel sat on the edge of his bed with his small phone. He opened ChatGPT. His hands trembled as he typed, "Hello, ChatGPT. Please, how can I win a land case in Nigeria? Very urgent." The AI responded politely, "Hello, Samuel. To handle a land dispute in Nigeria, you'll first need to understand the Land Use Act. Could you clarify? Are you the lawyer representing the client?" Samuel paused, then typed, "Of course, yes. I am Barrister Samuel, legal luminary." The AI continued, "All right, Barrister Samuel. You may want to start by sending a cease and desist letter. Would you like me to draft one for you?" Samuel grinned. "Yes, please, draft it fast." The AI produced a professional letter, complete with legal phrases that Samuel himself didn't fully understand, but it looked impressive. He copied every line. "Please add something strong," he typed. The AI replied, "Certainly,
I've added a line threatening to seek redress in court for trespass, damages, and injunction. Samuel whistled softly. This is law. At the bottom of the letter, he typed boldly, Barrister Samuel and Co. Chambers, legal luminaries, trusted advocates. The next morning, Samuel borrowed a flash drive, went to a computer center, and printed the letter on thick white paper. He walked straight to Chief Lucas's mansion and handed it over to the gateman. Minutes later, Chief Lucas was frowning at the paper in his hands. "Who is this Barrister Samuel?" he barked. He called his lawyer, Barrister Joe. Joe had never heard of such a person. "Unknown lawyer," Joe said dismissively. Probably a joke. But Chief Lucas was cautious. He dialed the number written on the letter and invited Samuel over.
Days later, Samuel arrived at the chief's house. His father's jacket was ironed this time, though he still swallowed his frame. Inside, Chief Lucas sat in his leather chair. Beside him was Barrister Joe, who adjusted his glasses and studied Samuel carefully. "So," Joe said, leaning forward, "how come I've never heard of you in the legal circle?" Samuel smiled faintly. "That's because I prefer to stay under the radar. I don't like my opponents predicting my moves." The chief narrowed his eyes. "Young man, let me advise you. I am not a man you want to go up against." Samuel's palms were sweaty, but he forced himself to lean back confidently. "I knew you'd say that, but let me also advise you. I know about certain activities you'd rather keep hidden. If you push me, I'll bring them into the light." There was silence. Chief Lucas froze, because truthfully, he was neck-deep in shady petroleum dealings. "How much does this boy know?" he muttered under his breath. Even Barrister Go looked unsettled. Samuel stood, adjusted his oversized jacket like a man with power, and said calmly, "This is not the last time you'll hear from me." Then he walked out, his heart pounding so loudly he was sure the gateman could hear it. For the first time in years, Chief Lucas felt a chill. He turned to Joe. "Find out everything about this Samuel. I don't care what it takes."
Big moves, big hits.